play it. Ah, no. Why isn't it looping? Ah, there we go. See if anybody's out there. We got 4 people so far. They're early.
No, but you'll get more when you put on YouTube to watch forever.
I'm trying to see if I know who they are, but I can't get it up
All right.
with their names, but I will up here. A few more minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't put quotation marks on the other end. I need to fix that in another kind of loop in that in the music.
Oh, right.
Where it gets fast then slow.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to Seizure the Day. I want to welcome Peter Churchill. His book is Broadening My Horizons and Living Life with Epilepsy. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you. You're welcome, Roxanne.
And
And with
yeah,
the book you mentioned, it's actually now Broadening Ryan's Living with Epilepsy. Epilepsy, sorry. It's the second edition now.
if that's
You'll
right. Yeah,
find second edition on the book cover as well now.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, thank you for telling me about that. Um, I want to get rid of this. Let's see, just us. But yeah, I want to talk about what the difference is in the story. I remember reading the first one and had noticed some new things in the second one where you went further into your life with epilepsy, other than the ones you had in the first book. You explained um, I guess really living with it, but
Yeah.
now you've explained more of how what you've accomplished
Yes.
having it in the second one. So I really liked everything you mentioned
Because
in the
plus,
second.
for those who bought read the first one, there's actually an additional chapter in the second edition.
Okay, yeah, and well, again, you tell about being 18 months old and then getting hurt and then having to go to the hospital and being sent to another hospital that was further away, and
Yeah.
then that's when your epilepsy began. And explain to us what kind of seizures.
They were actually to start with. I had actually because a different kind of word names for them.
Yeah, they
I had
do. Yeah.
I'd said I'd told me I had one called febrile convulsions at the age of 18 months, and again by early 1970. Uh, and so they put me on medications such as phenytoin when discharged from the hospital. Because some of those earlier names are quite sound foreign nowadays to what the names
They
you have now
do.
for epilepsy. Uh, but that one, that's febrile,
Febrile.
febrile
Yeah.
convulsions, was actually one of the severe ones that I had, and then they convert later in a few years down the line, they confirmed it as
The
one beginning with G. I
actual,
forget now. Well, G.
well, now later well, grand mal
That's it.
is
That's the
what
one. Ramel
that's what
C.
I'm used
Yeah.
to calling them, but they changed the
Yeah.
name of them, but I
Mm,
still call them grand mals,
yeah.
where that's what people automatically think you have when you
Yes.
say you have epilepsy. Oh, so you fall to the floor and shake. Well, no. Some people can just stare or um, you know
Take their clothes off. Honest.
they're
I actually thought that
they're
when it took me to my teens, even though we're not left there yet. But when I went to a centre to have my medications uh, examinated, at that time that I went, I thought the type of seizures I had were the only ones that existed because I'd never ever at that time not seen anyone else have one. And then
mhm.
while staying at the place I went to for about 3 months, there was other people's there with seizures that had different types of seizures that I'd never seen before.
Yeah,
They want me to
part of your
know that
book.
there was
Yeah,
more than just one.
yeah. You had mentioned about seeing someone start taking their clothes off when
Yes,
you. Yeah, you moved to that area when you were 10, right?
That was in my late teens. That was around
Okay.
1986. Well, that was a bit further up from where we are at the moment. But just talking
Okay.
about the subject relating to different subjects, different types of seizures. That's how old I was when I first found out that there was actually more than one type.
Well, I believe it or not, I haven't seen anyone actually have one in front of me. So, I mean, I was able to see what I had when
Mm,
I had a video EEG. I got to see what I did, but I haven't watched anybody else,
right.
which, you know, odd, but that, being having them this long and not seeing anybody, you know, what
Yeah.
kind they had.
Yes.
And um, I actually talked to someone that I didn't know there was this type where you could forget, like come out of it and have sort of amnesia,
Right.
not remembering where you were and not remembering what you were doing, and that was new to me that there's that kind
Right.
after talking to somebody else. So, um, a lot more we could learn,
Certainly. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And um, yours, temporal lobe, right?
Yeah.
And you were, after what age were you when they just finally decided for your surgery?
I was in my mid-20s.
Okay. And then it was on the left
That
side,
Yeah,
correct?
when they found it was when in January 1996, I qualified to have an MRI scan I've never had before because the technology wasn't as good then.
Hmm.
Uh, and having the MRI scan spotted what was triggering my seizures off from which side.
And that sounds almost exactly like the kind where the area was that
Yeah.
caused mine. Because I had a high fever when
Mm.
I was a baby, and
Yes.
it caused scar tissue, and they couldn't take all of mine out.
Right.
So I still get the trigger, I call it trigger, with the electrical, you know,
Right.
activity goes to that area. But they were able to get all of yours,
But
which was
it was
wonderful.
enough that when I had the MRI scan that the seizures were triggering off on the right side to be able to qualify to have tests done to possibly move on to having the operation.
And that was actually 3 days after I had mine was the September 11th, and yours is the 14th. And that
Yeah.
is just so odd. When I saw that, I was like, oh, wow.
Well, it could have been the same actually, because it was due to take place on the 11th. No, I think on the 11th, but
Hmm.
it got cancelled so it took place 3 days later on the 14th.
Yeah, and mine was on the 11th. And I read that, and I was like, oh, isn't that, amazing,
Mm,
what this is almost the same day. But um I saw that you had lived 20 years by yourself and worked at all some different areas
yeah,
that helped your dad.
yeah, and had some major dramas with my dad with what he did for a living.
Yeah, that was he was what he did was for someone with
He was a truck
epilepsy would
driver.
be
He was a
hazardous or
truck driver for companies in different jobs, and they
and
both involved me having unfortunate seizures that caused me to be in life-threatening situations.
uh-huh. I thought, oh my goodness. Yeah, that was scary. But I liked when you went to work for that shop.
For the charity shop.
Uh-huh. With the ladies and they had those little parties,
Yeah,
and
I
then
decided to do volunteer work for a charity to help myself to get into possibly learning retail skills, and I ended up being there for a while actually, before having to move on to a job in a different environment,
mhm.
which was
And
moving into manufacturing.
yeah, but I was going to mention how you dressed. Another man came and worked, you learning
Oh yeah, there
also.
was some fun occasions there when I actually they did commercialing for the local newspaper for when they were advertising for events at the shop, and one was for a blitz sale where they got women to wear glitz clothes, and there was a chap that worked there who was gay, and he thought that he was gonna dressed as get dressed as a woman wearing a glitz dress. So I thought, even though I'm not gay,
Yeah,
I thought I'd join him, and I
yeah.
bought myself a black dress and a red wig.
Red wig.
Yeah,
Oh, did you? I don't know. I don't remember if you had a picture of it in there.
I'm not quite sure. I know there's one in there of the when we did the country and western sale of me wearing a cowboy's outfit.
That sounded like a lot of fun, a place to volunteer and
Oh, it
learn.
was, yeah.
Yeah, and to with money and counting back and doing mathematics and sort of in your
Yeah, 'cause
head.
I regularly took the banking to them half the time to the bank and for them to come back and just carry on working downstairs on the shop floor.
And then you were actually good at writing
Yeah,
because of resumes.
yeah. I was doing see my own resume, and it just wrote down, went to send it out to different workplaces to try and get a job. And first, I ended up working before I did the volunteer work. I worked at a local hospital as a porter, laundry porter.
Oh my goodness. The you stayed busy then because
That was between 1988 and 1995 when I was unfortunately laid off on medical grounds due to having too many seizures apparently on the property.
mm, what did they end up doing about that? Helping you find
Well,
another
they knew, no, they
position?
didn't know. I got laid off on medical grounds as a
Okay.
result of, even though they knew at the time when I first started there, when I went for the job interview in 1988, that they knew about the epilepsy. And 7 years later, with the hospital where I started at had closed. We moved to another hospital, and the personnel department there just thought I was having too many incidences with the epilepsy, and so they decided to lay me off for medical grounds.
Yeah. Look, we still have a problem with that also here because um, that happened to me
Right.
also. And that, people need to know about epilepsy because she had no idea. And you think that my supervisor, you think that someone would know, working in a medical field like I did, would
Yeah.
know more about epilepsy, but she had no idea. But well, anyway,
Mm.
let's get back to you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say how we're different in some of the things the countries do, but then we're still alike with the way people think of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And but I want to go back to what all you had done in school because you did plays.
Yeah. I took. Well, I was sent due to my apparently it was down to the epilepsy that due to my behaviour in my first 10 years of life, my mum decided to send me to to a boarding school, and it was at that boarding school in Torquay, Devon, UK, that I actually took part in two plays. One was Tom Sawyer, where I just actually took part as one of the schoolboys in the school ground, And the second one in 1982 was as the Cuddly Lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. The
And
lion, right? Yeah.
yeah, the lion,
The
that's it.
lion. Yeah. That would be fun.
The one without the brain.
Putting it that way.
Yeah,
Oh goodness. But yeah, being able to do that would
yeah.
be
And there's just
amazing.
one funny occasion when I still to this day don't know remember who it is that when I was about to go on stage to do one of the scenes, someone behind me they decided to tread on the tail and it fell off as I walked on stage, so I went on with no tail.
You reminded me of you writing about that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm. Well, but still, look like the lion, and that would be real good to see.
mm.
You being able to do that, even though you had epilepsy,
Yeah, because one of the
because
just staying in the area of my life at that very same school, I enjoyed playing soccer and I regularly played for the school team, but it's just unfortunate that the running about just regularly got me hot. And it was on an occasion when I was playing for the school team against another school, and I was running towards the goal with the ball, shot, I scored a goal, I went to celebrate, but it was as I was celebrating that I had a seizure,
yeah,
and I ended up having to go off the field.
uh, well, you scored the goal,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, he does some things to me too, so it's odd that what can trigger them
Mm.
for anyone. Yeah. So we need to talk more about it, and that's great that you wrote the book,
Yeah.
and have talked about that. And you also had your friends. Y'all would go swimming, but you'd have to make sure that someone was with you,
Yeah,
because
that
you
was
even had someone had a seizure in the
while
pool.
I was on the trial. Before we got as far as having the operation, I went to that very same place to have my medications sorted out for in 1987, and for 3 months between September and December. And during that time, one of the things that the place did was take people with epilepsy to the local swimming pool once a week to go and enjoy themselves and have a swim. Which is unfortunate that on one occasion I actually went and go for a swim, that some of the other people, one or two from the group that were also swimming, unfortunately had a seizure while I was actually in the pool.
Hmm.
So they got dragged out and taken back to the dressing room. It wasn't a nice
Yeah.
thing to see.
No, that's one that I wouldn't want to see happen. That's scary.
Mm.
But um, we want to swim.
Oh yeah, we all want to try not to let things get in our way. Just let ourselves enjoy life in what way we can.
Right, right. And but actually, I never thought that I would write anything. But now that I'm not working, that's what I'm doing, and I never thought I would do that. And so, um, I found reading your book sort of like, oh, well, I do that, and he did
Mm.
that. I get hot, and now I like to write, and it's just, you know, I guess the temporal lobe where our areas were somewhat in the same area that
Yeah,
our seizures. But I only had one grand mal, and but you had
yeah. There's
a
one
group.
unfortunate occasion back in I was in my teens, I think, when we were invited to go to a cousin's wedding. I was in my late teens, early 20s. I can't remember, but we was invited to go to another part of the country to a cousin's wedding, and I already had two seizures before we even left home, and then when we got to the church, I even had another uh, seizure during the service, and I was taken outside to cool down, cool down, and the wedding itself was brought to a halt until I was sorted out and brought back in and placed on the sitting down again. So, and then
Yeah.
after that, when they had the disco in the evening, flashing lights caused me to have some
Oh.
more. So on that one day alone, I had a total of 8 seizures.
Oh my. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Flashing lights. Um. They don't do good at all. And
No.
I have written some companies that do them for commercials
Mm.
to see if that would help, open their eyes about doing the flashing lights because, they don't help at all either. But now that you've had your surgery, and oh, I wanted to talk to you about the driving and
Yeah, that's
going through the pylons.
going through.
You had that road course.
Oh yeah, the what I've done recently because it's only happened in 2020. Uh, or I don't know how far, which part of the book are you talking about?
Well, this was when you had the race afterwards, and
Oh,
someone did
sorry,
have a
oh, no, yeah, no,
seizure.
on the day, yeah, that's 19. That's when I was a member of an epilepsy group in Hemel Hempstead, and we were invited to go to another part of the country to by another epilepsy group who invited other groups from different parts of the country down for a driving day for all those that aren't able to drive to have a chance to in a car park you have go into a car that does driving lessons and drive around the car park to have that experience of driving a car. And then what they did after that was they put some cones out, and we all had a challenge of going in and out the car, in and out the cones rather, and up to one end. Then you reverse the vehicle, your car, and then come back through the zones. And each cone you move knocked down, you got a 5 second penalty on your time. Unfortunately, when I did that, uh, going up and coming down, I knocked one cone down, so I had a 5 second penalty uh, added to my time, and that but the time put me in second place, but there were still many drivers to go, and only one person beat my time, so I finished third and won a trophy.
Well, yeah, I read about that too, and you got to try a lot of different things with the
Mm,
area you stayed at, um, which you know we don't have anything like that here,
right.
and that would be good. I mean, I don't know if other people would think like that, but it'd be like sort of figuring out what you could do for a living.
Yeah.
Is that what you? Am I not saying that wrong or
Well, no,
not
it's just
right or?
as in with it's just with the epilepsy groups. That's just giving people a chance to meet other people with the same thing, or relatives who has someone with epilepsy, so they can find out more about the illness.
Yeah,
It's just a once a month meeting that you just attend and socialise, and that's it till the next month. Until eventually, with our one, it closed down eventually, unfortunately.
oh really? Well, we're trying. It's more online now
Yeah,
than it is in person, so that's what we have tried to get together with other people. We just post on Facebook
yeah,
when we're going to have a meeting and hoping that people would remember and or put it on their calendar.
yeah.
So Yeah, because we want to talk about it, and if have people that don't want to go out and do things like you done, then they need to be, I guess, talk to about, hey, if you don't try it, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's but your bucket list.
Hmm.
Now, you've marked off a lot, and have you finished everything?
Yeah,
Because you've
because
got your
I did
license
actually. Because
now.
at the time that I wanted, there was two sections for that. There was one just before the operation of all things that I had done and what I hadn't done, and there was a lot more hadn't done before the operation. And obviously, since the operation, years later, at the end of the book, a lot of those things that were had not been done have now been achieved.
And I cannot believe you went in a hot air balloon.
Oh yeah, like I did that once and I enjoyed it. I would really love to do that again. That was very enjoyable.
I just, oh my, I don't know what if I would be able to do that. Uh, yeah. How many people went with you?
There were
Were
about 6 or 7 people in the basket on the flight, uh,
oh,
and it was very enjoyable because it was actually a gift for my 40th birthday
oh,
at the time.
okay, okay. And then, well, definitely you got your independence,
Yeah,
which it probably very high on the list.
yeah. I really want to start life on my own. Uh, I really want to start life on my own from moving out with parents. So I thought I'd give it a go by moving to the apartment that I lived in for 20 years. And unfortunately, there was some occasions when outside the apartment I had a seizure or two, but some of those that lived along there had been made aware to look out for me should it happen.
Hmm. That's good. Yeah, I try to do that too, so they see me, they don't freak out.
No,
That's what I do. Now, if you see this, I'm okay. You
yeah.
know, yeah, but yeah, and you uh, gone a lot of places too. You've
I've been,
traveled.
well, I've been abroad. Been travelling quite a lot since the operation. I went to Spain. Uh, I visited in 1999. I went to Tenerife. 2000 went to another part of Spain, and again in 2001. Unfortunately, on all three journeys in the same area where it's hot,
Mm,
I fortunately did not have any seizures while out there on all three occasions.
okay, and so where did you meet your wife? What was it?
I met Chelsea.
Paris?
Met Chelsea online actually because I was living in the UK and she was living here in
Oh,
Canada
okay, that's
on
right.
LinkedIn.
Okay, yes, she was
She,
a journalist, right?
yeah, she worked on LinkedIn. Yeah, she's more of a spiritualist kind of person
Okay,
at the time.
and your wedding being in Canada, it snowed
Yes,
so much.
we had a very white wedding, you could say.
Yeah, instead of white Christmas and
Not the
white
fact being that
wedding.
Chelsea was wearing the white dress, which she wasn't, but it was very white outside, and it stopped a lot of people coming to the wedding that we had in our house.
Yeah, and your parents weren't listening on the phone,
Yeah,
and
I had my parents, brother, my sister, and their children all listened on the phone at the other end as
that
the
that was
event went on.
well, that was good. They got well, they didn't get stuck somewhere.
No,
They got actually be there, but not in person.
no.
Right. So I had forgot. How long were y'all talking online before you decided to meet?
only about about 6 to 7 months, and then we decided. It was friends to start with, then became boyfriend girlfriend online, and then it just got to a point when we decided to try things of uh, one going to the other and see if we could live under the same roof. So it was decided that I would fly over here to Canada to see if I want to stay with Chelsea and for a month and see how things go. And everything went well.
Of course.
Mm.
And so, how long have you been married now?
We've now been married 8 years.
Wow, that's good. That's great. Cause and uh, what did she write about? Did she understand?
Uh, she uh, she written some fiction romance stories titled Why.
Okay,
She wrote a Y2. But the first one was done by me and her, but the second one was just done by Chelsea Bowes.
okay. And you've done some extra books.
Yeah, because this is actually, so this is the cover for the my book,
Yeah,
being
it
All My
doesn't look as
Regrets,
good
actually.
on mine.
Mm.
I have to get it real close, but
And what I've done, I've also written one for some of those on the epilepsy groups in the UK. I mean, in the US, there might have seen me advertise this one for an epileptic person's planner, medical planner for when those that want to keep a record of how many seizures they have, that they take their medications and doctor's appointments and things like that.
yeah, that's needed.
And
You
it's
can just show it to the doctor, and you don't have to talk. And
exactly that's
yeah,
a, never really thought of that. And you just saying that in a way of it's a thing that you can keep a record on, keep the record down of how many seizures you've had and how many medications you've missed, and what appointments you've
mm-hmm.
had, and you can take it along to your doctor's appointment with you to show them instead of trying to keep them trying to remember in your mind.
Yeah, uh-huh. Because right now I'm in a study about exercising with epilepsy. And I didn't realize how many times I used my magnet for
Mm.
my VNS and as to how many I had a month compared to my magnet. So now I know my magnet's working.
Well, talking of which, you to exercise, and there's actually I've I've done a logbook for anyone who does fitness and health being
Okay,
of
that that helps. Yeah,
you keep a
right.
record of all the exercise you do and the food you eat, and
Mm,
it's a week commencing thing of a year.
okay. Yeah, because I actually have to keep track of it and to see if it helps your seizures.
Mm.
And believe it or not, I went 2 days without exercising and I had one.
Oh right. Well, I would have thought that wouldn't have happened because of that being because obviously it's the energy you use during the exercise that you get warm and out of breath and that kind of thing. It might sometimes trigger one. Whereas you'd have thought if you don't do exercising, there's no reason for the seizure to trigger because you're not out of breath or anything.
I was wondering about that because
Mm.
getting hot, I definitely can have one.
Yeah.
So I do mine different, a different kind anyway, a different type of exercise where I won't get too hot
Right.
because I know I would have one. But it was weird to see after a couple of days not doing it that I had
Mm.
one, and it made me think, that's odd. So that wouldn't have thought of having a book for that, and then
Mm.
definitely need a book for keeping track of when you take your medicine.
Yeah.
And
That's the An Epileptic Person's Medical Planner by Peter Churchill.
it's on Amazon.
Yeah, that's on
Yeah.
Amazon. Yeah.
So all they have to do is look up your name and they'll see all of them, you think, or a
Yeah.
list.
You
I
want
haven't.
to if you want to type in a title, as in Because one of the popular sports over there I know for those that like to relax is fishing, and
Oh,
I've actually for anyone who likes keeping records of what they catch and what bait they use, I did a fisherman's personalised logbook, whereas you can
cool.
inside keep a record of everything you catch, the date you go, the place you fished, the bait you used, and you write down the type of fish you caught and the length that it was.
Huh.
So there are going to be some days where you have good days and some days where you don't catch a thing.
Well, and then keep up where you were to
Yeah.
maybe not go back there or something.
Mm.
I have never. I don't fish, so I've never. I would have never thought about that. So that's neat. That's neat. Um, do you do any exercising to get too hot, or just to
I
keep in
walk. I
shape?
do a lot of walking around. I walk, so I basically walk around when working around the house, and I don't have any. Haven't had any. If anything, if I do have any slight ones, it has to be through uh, more related to stress than anything else.
Oh yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. The stress definitely
Mm.
doesn't help either. Yeah. And um, you've been through a lot of stress throughout your whole life.
Oh
It
yes.
seems. Yeah. So having to find things to calm you down, you just maybe count or just breathe in or walk
Mm.
away. Is
Yeah.
that
True.
what you do to help?
Mm.
Yeah, 'cause I have to do that when I get real stressed, or I can definitely have one. So
Makes it.
that's something else we need to teach
Mm.
people.
I've actually done some. I know people like playing games of different types, and with the baseball season now just getting underway with the spring training, I've actually uh, created a game book for baseball fans of,
Okay.
of Northern Cross is all tic tac toe as it is over there, and
I said,
inside you have 9 games with a baseball movement
okay.
on there on each. So you got one, two, three, about 12 games on each page where you can challenge your opponent and see who wins the most games on that one page. Someone could win or it could end in a draw.
Well, do you have one for soccer or do you say football?
We use. I've not done one for soccer. There is one for football.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of the. Oh yeah, sorry, I have done. It's here. I've. I was just thinking that the American football's now finished for another season.
Hmm.
I've done one for American football for
Okay.
crosses, and inside, you've got the coloured ball and helmet.
Oh, that's neat.
But as a colour, that's why the book's a little bit on the steep, expensive side because the colour of the helmet and the ball. The more colour you use, the more expensive the book. Unfortunately.
Okay. I see. Yeah, that looks interesting.
Mm.
And see, writing and with your books, having that in your mind, I wouldn't have thought about doing any of that. But um, that's interesting
It's
that
always
you.
nice to create books that helps others.
Yeah, yeah. Especially that would be great for younger kids too.
Yeah. Or when it comes to when you're going on vacations and you want to keep kids quiet in the back.
That's good. One thing that we would do was try to mark off. We would have a list of the states and
Yeah.
make them look for the license plates.
Right.
And we would mark off if we saw this state or this state, for their license plates.
Yeah.
Anywhere we'd go and say, "Oh, we got our list finished. Now we got to start another one." That's how we would keep them busy. So, but I was gonna say they definitely have to read your book and everything, um, especially people with epilepsy,
Yes.
because I noticed how different it is here than in England
Mm.
with how they find the jobs for you and how you know what you like to do for a living out of all that, so you could be happy.
Yeah.
And especially having seizures, and we're still trying to teach people the different types.
Well, it's always try. It's
And
always It's you know when you know what when you know what jobs you can do or want to do in the way of, there's obviously with us that with those that have epilepsy, there's obviously a list of jobs you can do and a list of jobs you want to do but can't do because of machinery. So yes,
yeah,
obviously the list you've got that you can do, you write those down and send your forms to them
that's that's a great idea.
because
You
there's
need
always
to.
we always love doing types of jobs that we can't really do because there's too much risk in the situation for the person.
That would be another good book to do, to
Mm.
show people the jobs, how they list, and things like that, to compare. That would be another good one to write up for us here, because it's I only did one job
Right,
after I got out of high school, went to college for that, and that's all I did until mine just my brain just went wild.
right.
But that would be another good book for you to
Mm.
explain that. Because it's true, um, the good, the bad, and uh, the ones you want to do for a living. That was it, that just amazed me too when I read your book, how they put you in certain areas, and
Mm.
here we're just all in one group.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like there's one probably one job you can do. What a person with epilepsy could do is just work in a shop and work behind the filling the shelves up. But only one you can't do is being a garbage collector because you got to go when you stop and collect the bin and empty it. You then go and stand on the back while the truck's driving, and
Ooh.
the truck might be driving. You might have a seizure and fall off.
Ooh. Yeah. That no, would not be good at all.
Mm.
No. Well, anything else you would like to say about what's new in your book? Because
If you like, if it was one I didn't show in the fact be in the way the Ruin My Horizons, the one extra chapter is the one about my driving lessons.
oh,
Uh,
that's right. That's right.
when
You
I
how you got your
finally,
license.
it wasn't, yeah, that was when I finally got my license 3 years ago
Yeah. That would be great.
for the
I
very,
know
very
that.
first time.
I say driving is a privilege,
Mm,
because I don't drive and find other ways stuff to do at home, so I don't go crazy, um, not being able to get out.
so
So
when you do something like live out in the sticks, you need a car.
right, the bus doesn't come to
No.
me. Yeah, so that's people. That's why I say it's a privilege. Yeah.
Mm,
So, but 3 years, great. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
thank you.
Yeah, and for writing those two books.
That's right. Thank you very much. And it's nice to be able to write about my own story about epilepsy and create another to hopefully help others.
It did, because it showed me the difference in the life you've lived and how I've lived. Um, but it's almost the same with the epilepsy, the where the location is, and um, it's and then how the two countries are different.
Yeah,
That's what amazed me too. So, um, yeah, I want to thank you for being here.
you're welcome.
And yeah, just I'll write on here, let's see, about how they can find your books and
I
look
think
for them
it's
on
well done
Amazon.
because for that, if anyone needs to, it's the title "Broaden My Horizons: Living with Epilepsy, Second Edition" by P.J. Churchill. The ISBN number is 9798704295211. And apparently, it's available to order at Amazon, Book Depository, Waterstones, Bookshop.org, and Chapters.
Okay, I'll look that up. Let's see. Um, right, tell me that number one more time.
What the ISBN number? What Roxanne, the ISBN number? Is that what you want?
IS, yeah, ISBM, right?
Yeah,
Number. Uh huh.
nine
Okay.
979870429521.
Okay. 211.
Yeah,
Okay. And I'll type out again, broadening my horizons. And that is the second edition. And they need to read the first edition.
well, not really.
Well, I enjoyed
It's,
it too.
mm,
And you did tell a little bit more, so um, about it,
right.
more things about in the book there
Yeah.
this time. And a lot of parts just made me laugh or smile that
Mm.
you'd done and were able to do. So, uh, again, I want to thank you
That's all
for
right. Thank you
being
much.
here.
It's been nice. Thank you for inviting me onto the show.
Well, no, thank you for coming in. So, again, if you write another book, you let me know, and
Will do.
yeah, we'll talk again. Well, we'll still talk on Facebook, but we'll talk like this, telling more people about your book. All
Yep.
right?
Yep. Thank you much indeed.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up. And again, check out Broadening My Horizons by Peter Churchill. Well, it says PJ Churchill on the book. And thank you for coming to watch. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.